This is the ACEMAGIC K1 with an Intel i5-12600H processor, 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM, and 512 gigs of SSD storage. Amazon lists this as a gaming PC. Amazon also sells essential oils that cure cancer, so maybe take that product description with a grain of salt. Let's talk about what this machine actually does well and where it starts to fall apart. So the K1 comes in a silver aluminum chassis that's clearly inspired by the Mac Mini aesthetic because apparently nobody's allowed to design their own computer cases anymore. It measures 5 inches squared and sits in about 1.5 inches tall. So it's pretty compact. Inside, you're getting an Intel i5-12600H with 12 cores and 16 threads that can boost up to 4.5 gigahertz. Graphics are handled by an Intel Iris Xe integrated GPU, and this review unit came with 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM, which is expandable up to 64 gigs over 2 SODIMM slots, and a 512 NVMe SSD. There are 2 M.2 slots in here total, so you can expand storage up to, I think, 4 terabytes. Connectivity includes Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5.2, and a single gigabit Ethernet port. It's shipped with Windows 11 Pro Build 24H2 pre-installed, complete with all the Microsoft bloatware you didn't ask for. When it comes to upgradability, getting inside this thing to upgrade components is a little more involved than it should be. Realistically, like most mini PCs, the screws are hidden under those little rubber feet on the bottom of the machine, which is pretty standard. But removing the bottom shell does take some effort, and then once you get that off, surprise, surprise, you still can't access the RAM or storage. You have to pull the entire motherboard out of the top half of the case just to reach the 2 SODIMM slots and the 2 M.2 slots. Now, the Wi-Fi antennas are like taped to the front of the chassis, so try to be careful not to damage those during disassembly. This isn't really a quick 5-minute upgrade process. It's more like a 20-minute exercise in questioning your life choices. When you're putting it back together, make sure those antenna cables don't get pinched near the front USB ports, because I found that out the hard way and had to take it all apart a second time, which was exactly as fun as it sounds. For performance and general use, everyday compute tasks, the K1 performs about where you'd expect. Benchmark scores came in slightly above average for the i5-12600H, which is a solid mid-range processor from 2022. You'll hear the fan during intensive tasks, but it won't drown out your Spotify playlist or whatever podcast is telling you to wake up at 4 a.m. and take an ice bath plunge like a psychopath. I mean, a totally normal, healthy person. Multitasking reveals some bottlenecks pretty quickly though. When I was downloading Forza Horizon 5 over the gigabit connection, while simultaneously installing Steam, the system noticeably slowed down. That single gigabit Ethernet port is adequate, but really nothing special. A 2.5 gig NIC would have been a really nice upgrade here, but asking for that at this price point is like asking for heated seats in a used Honda Civic. Running Windows 11 Pro on 16 gigs of RAM is really the bare minimum these days, especially with all the bloatware that Microsoft includes by default. You'll end up spending some time removing Copilot and OneDrive and other unnecessary apps that consume resources right out of the box. It's like digital liposuction for your operating system. Now, a gaming reality check here is Amazon's listing calls this a gaming PC, and I want to put that claim to the test. Spoiler alert, Amazon lied to you. Shocking, I know. Starting with Forza Horizon 5, like I mentioned, the loading and optimization screens took unusually long. I eventually got the game to launch, but after going into the settings and lowering everything down and enabling an FPS counter, it just crashed. And then every launch attempt after that resulted in another crash. I couldn't get a stable gaming session to actually benchmark any performance on Horizon. Moving to Asphalt Legends, because I like racing games, which is a free-to-play racing game that ran without issues. But the graphics quality looked like something from the original PlayStation era, maybe PlayStation 2. It's not the mini PC's fault, it's actually just a shitty game. And it's not a demanding title by any means, so if your gaming ambition peaks at mobile game ports, congratulations, you're covered. Counter-Strike 2 was completely unplayable. Even with all the settings dropped to low, the integrated graphics just really couldn't handle it. Frame rates were inconsistent, and the experience was very frustrating. I've had smoother experiences running PowerPoint presentations. That's because I'm really good at that. But either way, the Iris Xe graphics are fine for video playback and Office apps and some light productivity work. But if you're expecting to play modern AAA games on this system, you're going to be disappointed, which you should be if you think you can run anyway. This doesn't have dedicated graphics, and the integrated GPU simply isn't designed for that heavy of a workload. Calling this a gaming PC is like calling a bicycle a Formula One car because they both have wheels. So what is this actually good for then? Well, let's zoom out a little bit because this is really a good office machine in a compact footprint. It excels at general productivity tasks like Microsoft Office and managing multiple browser tabs and handling typical business applications. Even multitasking media consumption like YouTube or Spotify and other streaming services works just fine. In fact, if you need a secondary PC that you can switch to, like with a KVM alongside your primary machine, this K1 fits that use case really well. Since it comes with Windows 11 Pro, you can join it to an Active Directory domain for business environments too. It could also work as a simple virtualization host running Hyper-V because it comes with Windows Pro, VMware or Proxmox for handling a couple of VMs or Docker containers, things like that, assuming you don't get too ambitious. It also arrives with a VESA mount in the box, so think thin client style mounting to the back of a monitor or a TV even. Also, think of an alternative. ACEMAGIC also makes this machine in a Ryzen 5 7430U version that's about $100 cheaper on their website. Now, I haven't seen that exact one on Amazon, probably because Amazon's algorithm decided you don't deserve budget options. So the 7430U is a little bit slower than the i5, but if you're just doing office work and browsing, you really aren't going to notice the difference. In fact, you can take that extra $100 that you got in savings and put it towards upgrading to 32 gigs of RAM instead. Your future self will thank you when you have 47 Chrome tabs open and Windows is desperately trying not to crash. What's a value proposition on this? At the sale price of about $400, the i5 version of the K1 Mini or Mini K1 is still competitively priced for a compact office PC. If you were to compare this to something like a new Dell Latitude micro form factor machine with equivalent specs, you'd easily pay twice as much for that. Dell does need to fund their corporate retreats somehow. That said, my recommendation would be to configure this with 32 gigs of RAM and opt for a terabyte SSD if that option's available. 16 gigs is pretty tight for Windows 11 these days, and 500 gigs of storage fills up faster than you'd think. So if you're going to stick with a base configuration, plan on using cloud storage or network attached storage for your files. Or just accept that you'll be deleting things constantly, like it's 2005. Let's sum this up already. The ACEMAGIC K1 is competent for office work and general computing, compact and quiet during normal use, and Windows 11 Pro works for businesses needing Active Directory. But this is not a gaming PC, not even close. For productivity or as a secondary computer, it delivers fine. For gaming, you're gonna need dedicated graphics or just get a console and save yourself the headache. The Ryzen 5 version will save you some money if you're not doing anything intensive. As always, links are in the description, but leave a comment about this mini PC and what you think it could be used for in your setup. And I'll see you nerds on the next one.